Hey, my name is Katie Flower. I am a hormone health chef, which basically means that I cook for and I teach women how to eat in alignment with their menstrual cycle in order to reverse the effects of hormone imbalance. First of all, I just want to say, if you've made it to this video, I know what that means. You're probably in a situation with your body where you're uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good, but you have an awareness that there is more possible, which is so huge. This has never been modeled for women before, that we can live with our bodies in a very collaborative nature rather than forcing and trying to fit ourselves into a system that doesn't really work for us. And instead of blaming our bodies for coming up short, being like, how can I rework what I'm doing to heal myself and to feel good, and you know that it's not in front of you yet, but you have some awareness that there is a reality where you are oozing wellness, that you feel good, you wake up and you feel good in your body, that you are like glowing from your core and it's just radiating out of you. That is possible for you. And the fact that you are following my work or interested in my work means that you know on some level that that is possible for you, which is half the battle. Being able to hold that vision for yourself before you have experienced it. Being able to talk about the menstrual cycle so outwardly is like such a new thing. I always say, like, it was like 300 years sooner I'd be getting stoned in the village square. And it's not just me, there is a general like new sense of understanding how important hormones are, how important our period is, the menstrual cycle, and that it is a piece of our body, and our body as a whole needs to be like functioning well together, so each piece needs to be taken care of. We cannot ignore and hide our periods anymore. Now, period lore goes back, and if you are at least somebody that grew up in the US, I feel like I can speak to that. Like, you get your period at this time in your life when you are so vulnerable. It's like early teens, some people get it even younger, and everything is so embarrassing and heightened already. Like, the emotions are running high already, and then you add on to that this taboo thing that is our period, and there's like a moment of, I think, celebration of like womanhood. And if it took me a really long time to get my period, so I remember like wanting it. So there is some moment of like, oh, ladies. But it seems like moments after getting your period, the shame is just piled onto your shoulders immediately. Like, God forbid you are in high school and you like bleed through your pants, or somebody knows that you are on your period. Like, I don't think it was as big of a deal if anybody like saw that you had a tampon or anything, but there is like something, it felt loaded to even have. It's like you would hide the pad or the tampon in your pencil case. So like, I feel like we could talk about it a little bit more outwardly, but there was something behind it. Like, it felt heavy. And on the other side, it's like, you better be bleeding and you better have your period. Don't talk about it, and don't complain about your cramps, and don't complain about how you feel. But on the other side, you better be bleeding, because teen pregnancy is lurking around every corner. So just from the jump of being somebody that gets a menstrual cycle, you're like, oh, I can't win. Good. There's not, the education just isn't there, and that's nobody's fault. Like, our mothers were not educated on this, their mothers were not educated on this. It's a long line of women not knowing how to take care of their bodies. As you enter adulthood and you are a bleeding human being, it doesn't really get any easier to navigate. Like, women's health is so, it's just like kooks. Like, it is on one side so loud and so noisy. How many people are like coming at you saying, this is the way, this is the only way for you to be healthy. I am your savior. I know how you are gonna feel good in your body. Or like, don't eat this. This is gonna kill you. This is gonna make you gain weight. Like, shut the fuck up. So loud. And then on the other side of women's health, it is shockingly quiet, and that's the side of like actual science and actual research done on female bodies. Like, fair enough, science does not like to test on women that are like in their ovulating years because it puts a fetus at risk. Like, if somebody didn't know they were pregnant and they do a test, and it's a whole thing, and like of course, like, test on an adult human, but God forbid we do something to the unborn fetus. Maybe that was a little loaded, but science is so important. Science has its place. I use scientific research to inform the methods that I test on myself, but so many of these studies are done on either like only men or predominantly men and postmenopausal women, and it doesn't take into account the single biggest influence in women who ovulates lives, which is that menstrual cycle, and that within each different phase of the menstrual cycle, we have basically like a completely different metabolic makeup. So of course our body would respond to things in different ways. And sometimes, I mean, like, the fetus thing is valid, but it's like sometimes is it just like there's too many variables with you, like you are too complex, and it's gonna make it less black and white, and it's gonna be harder, and our society just doesn't like value complexity sometimes, especially like complexity of the female experience. I know I'm going off like on a tangent already. I'm just really fucking passionate about women being able to access information about how to actually take care of their bodies, and that's because the experiences I'm describing are experiences that I had, and coming to the other side of it and being like, oh no, you don't have to do any of that, you don't have to feel any of that, you can feel really fucking good all the time. And it's so simple, and it's so like right under our nose, but it is that noise and that lack of noise, and it's just like this. That's how I feel. There's just this around women's health, and I'm putting a stop to it. This eases up with every generation, but I definitely feel like, at least from my experience, there's still that level of conditioning of women need to grin and bear it. And if this is kind of your approach to how you feel in your body, like you're explaining away, I didn't feel that good, but not a big deal. I'm feeling pain in the morning, but I gotta get to work, gotta like kind of like put on the face and not take the time to be like, oh, what is my body saying? Because every time we feel something in our body, that is how our body communicates with us. It's how it tells us what's going on. Like, you don't just end up with PCOS, you don't just end up with endometriosis. There are 5,000, like, we can't even put a million, we can't even put a number on it. Like, there are an infinite amount of times that your body like did a polite knock at the door and was like, hey, something's not right here, I need your help. And then we just never learned how to listen. Instead, we learned how to override our body and its needs, and you didn't stop, you got to work. And then eventually your body's like, fuck this noise, and it's like hitting you with the more extreme hormone imbalance symptoms, or just like sickness in general. I think everybody is entitled to know how to take care of their body. I'll tell you the little formula I have for making sure that you feel good. I mean, my work is directed towards women, but it's really anybody. If you follow this formula, you will feel good in your body. It's so simple. It's so right under our nose. I talk about it a lot, and I put it out for free all the time, because that's not, I don't know, that's not like shit you keep to yourself. That's like something that everyone is entitled to. Everyone as like a human right, should feel good in their body. Because when people feel good in their body, first of all, you feel good in your body, you start to feel good in your mind. And when you have this foundation of wellness, you get to focus on your dreams. Like, you get to put all of your energy into like creation and bringing your dreams into reality. You get to make new cool shit, and that's what the world needs. The world doesn't need more sick people. The world doesn't need more like sick minds and sick bodies. The world needs art and love and yeah, just good shit. So I'll tell you the formula in just a second, but before I keep going, let me just say that this is a sales pitch. Like, I'm going to tell you about how you can work with me, how you can start feeling really good in your body using my help. But I don't want to waste anyone's time. Our time and our energy is our most valuable resource, and where you put those things really becomes your reality. So like, if you don't want this, I would just hop off. Like, it's if you don't want this reality, then don't waste your time here. And I know it's like, who wouldn't want to be healthy? Who wouldn't want to feel good in their body? But like, as simple as the formula is, as simple and like generic as like being able to take care of a body is, to implement is not easy. Like, you it's fucking hard to choose yourself. It's fucking hard to open yourself up to like, the work that I do is so based in root cause. Like, it's like, okay, we're gonna get to the root of the hormone imbalance from the food perspective, and okay, here we are, we're at blood sugar, and it's like, okay, but why is your blood sugar off? And we're gonna dig even deeper. Like, I'm a Scorpio, I dig till I get to the fucking bottom. I can just see like the little like, oh, what's it called? I don't know, the miner hat with the light on, and we're like we're getting to the core of the earth, to the core of your world. And yeah, that is not easy, and that is very uncomfortable. If you are somebody that's experiencing hormone imbalance, like I said, like, there's a whole physical reason why. There is emotions behind it. There is like your energy behind it. There's mental stuff behind it. There are levels to this shit. I think it's totally fine if you want to be where you're at in your life, or if you're comfortable with it, and if that is your reality and it feels good to you, then stay there. Like, but if you are like, I don't like where I am, I want to change this whole thing, that's when you come along for the ride and you do the healing journey, and we have a good time. Like, I don't want to scare you. Like, sometimes it is hard, but it is one of the most rewarding things of all time to change the relationship that you have to your body in a just loving, and like, to change the whole thing. I mean, that's the other thing. This is not for you if you don't want to change your entire life. Like, everything will change. The way that you see the world will change. The way that you see other people will change. The way that you just exist will be so different. And if you are happy where you are, cool. Like, literally no judgment. Like, that is cool. That is awesome. And if you're like, I want more, get in, baby. If you are one of those people that is like, I want to shift the way I am, I want a better relationship with my body, I want a better relationship towards food in my body, I want it to be, it's like so much past healthy. It's like, I want to enjoy myself in my body. I want to enjoy myself eating. I want to enjoy my femininity. Like, if you really want to bring out that soft side and respect for your natural rhythm, this like very intuitive, beautiful female nature, then you are in the right place. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I am a chef. Like, this bitch cooks. I'm not trying to minimize any of my accomplishments. I'm just like, let's be fully transparent with what's going on here. And the way that I came to hormone health is that I was really sick, and I was really, it was like a hell in my body, and I have a really low tolerance for feeling like shit, and I have spent like, when is it from? It starts in 2020, it's 2024. It's like, it's a COVID transformation, but it'll be almost 4 years now that I have been working with my body so fully, and until I learned about hormone health, if you asked me what a hormone was, like, I had no concept of the menstrual cycle. Like, I knew I got a period. That is my full understanding of female health 4 years ago. After learning about everything, it's so crazy because you reflect on your life and you're like, oh, that would have been helpful over there. That would have been good. And for me, it really is like, I mean, we could go back, but I'll just cap it off at like high school. I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. I had just consistent acne that would not go away no matter what I did. Before I even got my period, I had these things called cluster migraines, and they would come once a month for a week, and I went to go see my doctor, and she was like, oh, it's so funny. It's like you have a period, but you don't have your period. I was like, yeah. Can you help me? And no, she could not. But there was that. And basically all these things that were really like boxed off as being separate issues and given separate medication, separate prescriptions for each thing, when they were all intertwined and based in my terrible hormone levels, like really fucking bad hormone levels. And once I did get my period, like, my cluster migraines kind of chilled out. Like, I would only get them on occasion, but it was literally a new hell, and I would still miss school. Like, the amount of school that I missed. My mom is the principal, so shout out to that for, I feel like, people being, I mean, on one hand, snitches, but on the other hand, they would be generally maybe a little more understanding with me or give me a little more leeway. But I digress. But I missed so much school, just like on the reg, because I couldn't get out of bed the first couple of days of my period. And I remember feeling so like, okay, how am I gonna convince my parents that I need to stay home? And like feeling so invalid in not being able to go to school, but also being like, on some level, I was like, I got you, body, like, we're not doing this. But yeah, it was like super painful. My mental health was terrifying. So that was that for quite a while, and by the time that I finished high school, I was like, yeah, oh fuck, I'm kind of getting emotional. I never really like have said the whole story, but basically when I was like about to finish high school, I have to put a trigger warning on this. Low-key trigger warning. I was like, if I continue on, like, I will not live. I will not live if I have to like live this life every day where I have to go to this place I don't like, and like, I think I fucking hated school, but it was only in my head. Like I think that if I had all the tools that I had now and I was in high school, I'd be having a ball. Like, I'd be having a good old time. And on the outside, it was like about putting on such a show, and then like, yeah, I was just like, I'm not going to be alive if this is what life is. So I cannot go to college. And that was like a very important time. So when I went traveling, I was a little bit people pleasery, but it was in a way that wasn't that big a deal. Like, it worked. Because I was like, I don't know a fucking soul out here in the world. Like, let's make an alliance. I need you to like me. So I wouldn't say no to any food I would eat whatever was given to me or whatever other people were eating. And prior, I was a picky bitch, and my diet was just like white and brown, basically. So maybe if that doctor, instead of laughing about the cluster migraines being like a period, if she had just like asked me what do I eat in a day, we could have gotten to the bottom of things a little quicker, but all good. Honestly, all good. And also while I was traveling, I became a vegetarian, and just to like feed yourself, like you have to eat so much more, and you have to be like really diverse with your vegetables just to like have the energy. And that just like after that first year of traveling, I was like, I can eat anything. It's like way healthier and way happier. I felt so much better, but like I still had shit periods, still had acne, I still would have the occasional craziness. Okay, this is going long, so we're gonna rapid fire, but I find out about hormone health. I learned about cycle syncing, which is basically the idea of matching the food and lifestyle choices, your movement choices, to the different phases of your menstrual cycle. I learned that there's even I learned that there is a menstrual cycle period, and that there's 4 different phases of the menstrual cycle, each with such different hormone activity, and that hormones are chemical messengers, so they trigger different systems in your body to do different things. So we can meet those changes with the food and lifestyle. And I'm like, that sounds kind of good. From Alyssa Vitti, who's like the mother of cycle syncing, and she says something like, cramps are not normal. And I'm like, like if I had water, it'd be spit take. It was just so ingrained in me that it was like, I get my period, I get really painful cramps, I'm gonna get sad, I'm going to have some pimples, I'm going to be bloated, like I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna get my period and I'm gonna feel like shit. That was like wired in my brain. It's like, I'll give it 3 months. If this works, I will dedicate my life to this. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy info. And I'm doing it for 3 months. I'm very disciplined when I did it. Alyssa Vitti herself has just like a very like, she has a militant way about her. I don't know if that's true. Like maybe I'm projecting onto her, but like the way she comes across to me and her writing and her just like structure of her programming is very like da da da, which doesn't always work for me, but I was just like, fuck it, like I will do what this woman says if the results are there at the end. 3 months later, best fucking period of my life, November 2021. It's the holy day. I did not feel a cramp. I didn't know what it would be like to have your period and not feel a cramp. That's my everyday experience now for the past few years, and that is lit. That is the good. You couldn't put a price on that for me. For what I had experienced prior to cycle syncing to after, I would do it every time. The thing was that when you Googled cycle syncing recipes, I don't want to be harsh because people are always trying their best, but it just wasn't it. Like over that time where I had learned to incorporate all these different foods into my life, and I had been working in kitchens and I had been doing recipe development to know how good food can taste, and then like what was being recommended for cycle syncing, I was like, something doesn't add up. That's when I pulled up a seat at the table. But it was a very natural progression of like what I was doing for myself. Okay, Alyssa said carrots for follicular phase. We're gonna do a shaved carrot, like over some nice whole grains, have like an acidic vinaigrette, like really fresh Moroccan style carrot vibe, or fresh herbs. Like it was very intuitive and natural for me. I've always had a very like, me playing when I was a kid was like grabbing the berries from the trees and making poisonous concoctions for revenge purposes, but that's neither here nor there. So anyways, thank you for listening to my story. I want you to be able to see yourself who are in that place of suffering. Know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's really fun. Like if you're coming with me, we're eating good and feeling good. Now let's talk about the formula for just being healthy in a female body. So we're not getting into cycle syncing yet. Cycle syncing is like level 2. This is at its base. So this is for the people that are like, maybe don't have a regular period, maybe you've just been missing your period for like a super long time, or you don't even have the energy to get into that like detailed method of cycle syncing yet. This is the base level. You take care of your food, you take care of how you sleep, you take care of your relationship or like how you manage stress, and you take care of movement. These 4 things. I have a completely free challenge. It's called 28 Days to Better Periods, and it is like a month-long process of emails that you get that each week is one of those pillars. And then within each week, we go through hacks that are also totally free, totally accessible to anyone. Start improving these things in your life. That challenge is like the best free thing that I have that will like hold you. Then I also have a bunch of recipes on my website, which are always including like blood sugar stabilization, nutrient diversity, and reducing inflammation in your body, which are a big piece of the food for menstrual cycle. And those, go and get them, go eat. And then I also have some resources that are like foodie, menstrual cycle for foodies, just like that break down your menstrual cycle so you start to have a better understanding. You don't have to be like me, like walked this planet for 21 years not knowing not even knowing what's going on. You can educate yourself for completely free on my website. But I also have decided to offer a mentorship program where you get to work directly with me. We work one-on-one, we work virtually wherever you are in the world, and we are like, it becomes my job to be dedicated to help you change your menstrual cycle, to help you have gorgeous, gorgeous periods, to help you feel good in your body, to change your relationship with food. Like, that becomes my job. That is the program. There are plenty of resources on my website to bootstrap this whole thing, to DIY it, to do you. You can do it. Like, I did it. It's been the last 4 years of my life. 3.5 years. It's been the last 3.5 years of my life. But you can totally do it. Like, we're all equally capable. If you want, like, I think especially, like, I think it's good to know this, because if we're gonna work together, you should make sure that I'm your type of person. I love a little astrology. I love a little woo-woo, a little witch magic. And like, my birth chart is like, you are going to focus on body, you're going to focus on wellness, you're going to focus on transformation, you're going to focus on taboos. It's pretty much just like, those are the placements in my chart. 5th and 8th house, Virgo and Scorpio. That's where we are. So like, I know that I'm on this planet to like do this kind of stuff, and like, even past astrology, this is the stuff that lights me up. This is my like, hell yes, like, I want us to all be healthy, I want to save the women of the world, like, I want to help take care of your body so that you get to do your thing. Like, I think there's probably so many people on this planet that are not hyper fixated on food and body, and like, this is like a piece of their journey, but this is not the journey. Like, they have other shit to do. So like, I'm here to help. Like, let me be your little guide. I feel like I really am, like, I'm not gonna do this for you. Like, you're going to heal yourself, but I am the person that has like, we're like out in the rain, we're on the path, we're on the journey. I've got the little lantern, you know, I'm like, this way, and I'm like 3 steps ahead of you. And that is like, I think, a really good teacher, honestly, because I've been where you are. I have walked the path, I walked those 3 steps, and I will tell you exactly how to do those 3 steps. When you need to be, like, when you need your hand held, I will hold your hand. When you feel like quitting, I will help remind you to rest and come back, and we'll try something new, and we're gonna experiment together, and you are just gonna have a support system in healing your body. And if that's what you need, then I am here. So, the Gorgeous Gorgeous Periods program is launching. I am so excited. Like, this is such a culmination of a lot of stuff that I've done over the past couple of years. And what it is you have two options. Like there's one where you buy like the full package. We do the 4 months. You're like locked in. It is a full investment in yourself. So there's 4 modules into the program. It's very feminine. We've got seed, bloom, prune, and reflect. Everything follows the menstrual cycle. That is what you will really learn from me, is like the menstrual cycle is the core of everything we do. And when we know how to work with it, it just becomes this tool that is like, it's like what is it called? A skeleton key. And it's like every single fucking door you want to walk through is being opened because you know how to work with your menstrual cycle. And basically what we do is like we start in seed and we build that foundation for you. We talk about where you're at. We talk about where you want to go. I will help you set a very attainable goal that we will get to by the end of the program. You will learn the ins and outs of the menstrual cycle. Like you will have my knowledge on hormones. You will be able to go to the market or be able to like make dinners, and you'll be able to see. There's like the chalkboard and there's like all the equations going around. Like that will be you and hormone health. You'll be like, do. You'll have the information, you'll have the awareness, you'll know how to implement it. That's us. You will also, like I am a chef. The food part is my bread and butter. It's what I'm really good at. And I know that that is not everybody's strength, but being able to cook for yourself and feed yourself in a nourishing, loving, pleasure-filled, rich, hormone-healing way, that is a superpower. That is something that every woman, I think, should know how to do for themselves. And not that it has to be like every day and every meal slaving, but you're going to learn how to make it practical for your lifestyle, to cook for yourself, how to get excited about it, just how to do it. You're going to set up your kitchen. We'll set up your kitchen together in a way that is really efficient for your lifestyle and your hormone healing. That's all like just in the foundation module. So you'll be able to go onto my website and get like the detailed breakdown of each of the modules, because I think we're running a little long on time here. You will learn. If we work together, you will learn. I can talk about this all day long. Any of your questions answered. That is the gift of this program. You have somebody to come to for all of your questions, for all of your experiences. The stuff I know I can share, the stuff that I don't know, we will find the answer together. You sign up for Gorgeous Periods and you are going to transform your life. And yeah, I would love to be a part of that. So I'm gonna post this on YouTube and on my website. So if you're on the website, you're probably like looking at the page already. And if you're on YouTube, go head over to katieflower.com. You can find the work with me page, and this is how people are going to be able to work with me. And I am the type of person that likes to go really deep with just like a select few. So there will be limited spots in the program. Website has all the details. If you have questions, please email me. If you want to work with me, but in a later capacity, I've just also launched my text club. I love it. Like it's like if you have a question that's about the kitchen and you need like a chef's advice, you can just text me. If you have a question about like why is my period brown, you can text me. Like I am here for you. I've got it. And yeah, I'm really excited about that. Anything else? And if you're not in a place to commit yet and you want to try a little bit on your own, 28 days to better periods. That's a goodie too. If you watch this whole thing, I love ya. And I'm excited to see what becomes of this.